This Z4 is about to transform its audio system with an Alpha 1 amp, and today we're going to show you how to install it. Isn't that right, Jarrett?
You know it.
We know it. Welcome back, Dylan here. You may have seen us install this amp in a Z4 before, but now we have our custom mounting brackets ready for you Z4 owners to give you an even easier plug-and-play installation experience. But first, here's a little bit about our amp and why you need this in your Z4. This specific Alpha 1 amplifier is specially tailored for BMWs with MGU head units. This plug-and-play amp delivers 840 watts RMS and 1,680 watts max power, which is over 3 times the factory amp. It features 10 output channels, which includes one RCA line-level pre-out to drive an additional subwoofer amplifier, which is perfect for our sub-10 trunk sub. It can also hold up to 10 tuning files that can be changed to fit your musical preferences. This amp sounds amazing with our Alpha 1 speakers, but even works extremely well with factory speakers, like in the case with this Z4. As you'll see, this amp is super easy to install yourself, especially if you have our DIY Essentials Kit and Trim Tool Kit. But of course, if you don't want to install this yourself, that's fine too. You can find one of our certified installers near you. We have them in about 30 countries around the world. And of course, if you are in the Orlando, Florida area, well then stop on by and we could do it for you. Without further ado, Jarrett is going to show you how to install this amp in a Z4, so Jarrett, take it away. The first thing we need to do before dealing with anything electric is to disconnect the battery. Make sure the top is up since you'll need the room, and open up the front doors. Since there is no frame, you don't want to risk damaging the windows if you need to open them with the battery disconnected. You could also lower the windows instead. Next, open the trunk. Remove any mat, and then remove the floor panel. With the battery exposed, use a 10mm socket to remove the negative battery terminal and set it aside. If you want, tie a towel around the trunk latch so you don't get locked out. Now to get to the audio equipment. Start with this rear panel by using a trim tool to pop out these 4 fasteners. Pop out the light and disconnect it. Next, lift up from the bottom and pop it free. It will make a lot of popping and snapping sounds, so that's normal. Now let's remove the side panel. Start by popping off the covers for these tie downs. You can then remove the T40 screws holding them down. Next, remove the 3 fasteners here, here, and here. The last step is to remove the cargo tray. Start by popping the netting frame off of it, and then pop free the cargo tray and pull it out. Finally, articulate the side panel out and remove it. The last non-audio pieces to remove are this plastic piece, which you could just lift out, and this piece here, which you could just pop free from the threaded stud with the trim tool. We'll need to access that stud later. Next, disconnect the RAM module and booster lever lock connectors by pressing in the center tab and rotating the arm up. Now we need to remove the booster so we can relocate it. Start by removing the 3 8mm bolts holding it down. After that, remove it. Grab the Alpha 1 booster relocation bracket and place the booster onto it like so. Grab the included screw from your amp kit and thread it into here to secure the booster to the bracket. Now we can install the booster in the new location. Slide the factory harness out of the way to make some room. And drop the bracket onto the studs like shown. Place the included 10mm metal nut on the stud on the right, and the included plastic 10mm nut on the bottom stud. Tighten them both down. Let's start getting everything else ready to go in. Start with the Alpha 1 amp. Grab the amp with bracket and plug in the USB cable like so. On the other side, plug in everything from the main harness into the amp. Every connector only goes in one place, so there's no risk for error. Now the moment we've all been waiting for, mounting it. Grab the Alpha 1 amp and bracket and put it into position like so. Secure it with the 3 factory 8mm bolts you removed before. Tighten the bolts down. Time to plug it all in. Grab the factory RAM module lever lock connector you removed earlier and slide that into the connector labeled RAM on the Alpha 1 harness. Once in place, rotate the lever to lock it into place. Take the other end of that part of the Alpha 1 harness and connect the Alpha 1 lever lock connector into the factory RAM module like so. Next, take the factory lever lock connector you removed from the booster and plug that into the corresponding connector labeled Booster on the Alpha 1 harness. Finally, take the booster lever lock connector on the Alpha 1 harness and plug that into the factory booster. To make some final cable adjustments before running power, Jarrett opted to put this plastic piece back in place. At this point, you could tidy up all of the cables besides the power and ground with cable ties. Coil up the slack and secure it to existing harnesses. Now the power and ground. Start by removing this 10mm nut here and place the terminal from the Alpha 1 amps ground cable over the stud. Tighten back down the 10mm nut you removed. Use a cable tie to coil up and tidy up the slack. For the positive cable, start by running it along the back here like so, using cable ties along the way to secure it to existing harnesses. Once you get it to here, slide it under the side panel like so. You'll want the cable following this track of the existing cables here. Once the cable is fed, pop off this terminal cover. Trim off this tab to allow it to snap back into place after adding the Alpha 1 positive cable. Remove this 13mm nut. Slide the terminal from the positive cable over it. Tighten the nut back down and snap the cover back into place. It's best to keep the fuse secure, so Jarrett opted to use some Velcro to secure it to the cover panel. At this point, you're done and can begin reassembly. Start by grabbing the side panel and articulate it into place like so. Make sure the weather stripping is over it. Reinstall the cargo tie downs. Reinstall the 3 fasteners. Remember that USB cable? The USB cable will be used to digitally access the amp later should you need to or choose to. It's best to keep it somewhat easily accessible. For this car, remember the plastic storage tray you removed earlier? Jarrett decided to coil up the cable under it, so if the cable was needed in the future, you would just need to pop the tray out. Where you put the USB cable, though, is really up to you. Speaking of which, when done, snap the tray back in place. Articulate the rear panel back in place like so, making sure the light connector goes through the opening. And making sure the weather stripping is over it. Give the panel a final snap into place. Replace the fasteners. Reconnect the light and snap it back into place. At this point, reconnect the negative battery terminal. Replace the floor panel. Replace the floor mat if you had one. And you're done.
And that is how you install our Alpha 1 amp in a G29 Z4. But of course, to get the true Alpha 1 listening experience, you're going to want to pick up a set of Alpha 1 speakers as well. Want one of these for your G29? Head on over to our site and enter your VIN to get the correct kit for your BMW. Have any more questions about the amp? Reach out to our sales team via chat on our site or by calling. Already have the amp and have any questions about the install or anything like that? Reach out to our support team with your order number and they will be eager to assist. But as always, for more tips and tricks, product reviews, and so much more for BMWs, Minis, Supras, and Teslas, make sure you subscribe and don't forget to ring that bell. Want to know what's happening first? Head on over to our site and sign up for our newsletter. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok as well. Thanks for watching.